Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of The Magic Hour. I'm your host, Majid Nderi, AKA Magic Lab. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and click and subscribe to my YouTube at Majid Nderi. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Tom Begg, AKA OmTom.
That's me.
How you doing, Tom?
Good.
Now, please elaborate on that name. What does mean?
So it comes from Javanese, which is a major ethnic group in Indonesia, and it means uncle.
Uncle.
It means uncle.
You're an Uncle Tom.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But it's a good thing you're not a black person because that would be a horrible name. All right.
I
thought was just without the T. Which it is.
It is.
But I thought you were going...
It's a good alliteration, which is why I don't use... There's other words to say uncle in Indonesian, but that one rhymes.
Okay, so in Indonesia, people refer to you, hey, OmTom.
Well, they just call me Om.
Or just uncle.
Yeah, they used to call me Mas.
What?
Mas.
Mas?
Yeah, it means brother.
Okay.
So it'd be Mas Tomas.
Mas Thomas. Okay,
Yeah,
so
then,
now it's like they're putting a Latin into it, like Thomas and Thomas.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, like a Latin way of saying your name.
Tomas.
Now, you were born in Indonesia?
I was born in Papua New Guinea.
Oh, okay.
Which is not Indonesia.
No.
Which is common knowledge here in Australia, but in Indonesia, a little bit of misinformation. There's two parts of Papua.
Okay.
So I was born in the independent part.
Okay, and what... Were you raised in an environment where you had to learn Indonesian?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, in Australia.
Okay, because we've got a lot of Indonesians here, do we?
No, in the 90s and the 2000s where every public school had to teach an Asian language.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
Oh, they didn't teach that when I was in high school. We learned German.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but the only thing I can remember is how to count to 100 in German. That was basically it, and just a few like Ich bin ein, whatever. But that's only in the 9th grade. We didn't really get into it. It wasn't a very bilingual time, in the 90s going to high school.
Depends on the school.
Well, I guess I went to Hamilton. I don't know if that makes any sense. I went to Plimpton, then I went to Hamilton.
Yeah.
But it was in Plimpton we learned German, and then in Hamilton they didn't even have a language course.
Wow.
Not at that time. I'm sure they do now, but not at that time.
What's your age now, Midget?
47. Well, actually, I'll be 47.
So 10 years ahead.
I'll be 40. Yeah. Wait. I'll be 47 in 7 days, damn it.
Wait, happy birthday.
No, not really. I haven't celebrated my birthday in 17 years. 30 was the last birthday I celebrated.
I celebrate every year.
Oh, good for you. I like
a double
that.
quarter
I like
pounder.
The positivity. So, congratulations on your sold-out show.
Yes, sold out. The first one is sold out.
Wow.
By the time this episode comes out, maybe the second one will be.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a third one on sale.
Inshallah. Hopefully that works out well. So, what's the name of your show?
It's called Learning Indonesian with OmTom.
Okay. Learning Indonesian with OmTom. Okay.
And it's about learning Indonesian.
Yeah,
I like to keep things simple.
It's a combination. So you speak English and Indonesian on stage, I'll take it?
Yeah, so it's deliberately bilingual, partly just to challenge myself so I can keep learning and developing that language skill, but also kind of to entice Indonesians to come to the festival.
Okay.
So it's...
are Indonesian people your main targeted audience at this point? Or is it like for a show for everybody?
It's a show for Australians, well, whatever that means, and Indonesians. So it's just, there's two kind of parts to the show, or two kind of aims of the show. One of the aims is to encourage diaspora groups to come and take part in our cultural festival, which is, so like the Fringe is a large part of like South Australian discourse.
Yeah.
And it's a way to invite them in to the Australian discourse. And the other part of it is to encourage Indonesian studies in Australia.
Okay.
Because it's our biggest neighbour, our most important geographic neighbour, but our least understood.
Yeah, I think Australia should take advantage of being bilingual. But they did choose to want to be a multicultural country. And we have many people from all around the world, Australian people from all around the world that are living here. And I remember that once upon a time in the 80s when we used to see we're Lebanese, and Lebanese people, yes, we cooked all of your fish and chips and pizza. That was us. When we first came from the country, you know, I mean, even though my mother spoke English fluently, she was working with those that didn't speak it fluently.
Yeah.
So they'd have to speak in Arabic, and customers got very annoyed in those days if you were to speak any other language but English.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know why, because maybe they thought that we were talking about them. We were. No, we weren't. Sometimes we were, but most of the times we just weren't. And they just didn't like it. All right, but now it's like they want to hear it. You know, it's how that has changed. You know, we want to hear something exotic, something authentic, and I really think they should really push, if they haven't already, the more language departments so people can pick up.
It's going backwards.
Is it going backwards?
Yeah, yeah. So when I was in school, there was in the 70s, they stopped teaching Malay in schools and turned to Indonesian, which is 90% the same. So all the Malay classes became Indonesian classes. And then it probably went down a little bit. But then in the late 90s, 2000s, there was a program for public schools to teach an Asian language, either Japanese, Chinese, Korean or Indonesian.
And it was only Asian language they were mainly focused on?
You had to teach one of those four.
An Asian language? Was there not an option for a European language like French or Spanish?
No. So the private schools would.
Private, yeah.
But the public schools, you had to teach one of these languages, and it's because they saw what was happening and that we're going to have an Asian century coming up.
Is it because... I hate to put this out there, but it's just in the back of my mind. Oh, God, I'm going to hate myself for asking this question. But are you saying that they do not teach Asian languages in private schools?
I don't know.
You wouldn't know?
From what I'm aware, the program was a compulsory thing for public schools.
Okay, for public schools. Okay.
But like private schools, like I went to a private primary school and they taught Italian because it was a Catholic school.
Now here comes my controversial question.
Yeah.
Do you think they teach only Asian languages in public schools which is a brown language or horrible to say Asian? I'm not going to say the color, but the Asian language. Whereas they teach white languages in private schools. Is it because the private schools and the students are living an upper class of life than those in public schools who are not living that kind of life? So we are in the demographics of talking a language that belongs to a group of people who work in middle to low class, whereas they speak a language of a people that are upper high class.
There may be some Eurocentrism in the expensive schools with stuff like French and German, that kind of thing. And there's a romanticism of those languages, right? But I think, like, my private primary school wasn't an expensive private school. It just happened to be Catholic, and it just happened to be that a lot of the Catholics at the time were from Italy. And so they were teaching a family language. Like, now the demographic of that area has changed, and I know that the church's demographic has changed to be a lot more Indian. So I would presume that they're now teaching Hindu in that school.
And that's obviously because the population of Indians has grown immensely in Australia.
Yeah, especially in that area.
Mm. Okay. Well, I mean, that's
I understand what you're saying, but I haven't seen that. I think that there is an issue with Eurocentrism and this idea of Australia as being Western, which I kind of push back on. We're not Western, we're Australian.
Mm.
And I think thinking in that kind of Western or that Euro-white kind of pan-whiteism kind of idea, it kind of stems from, the clash of civilizations theory.
Elaborate.
So in the 90s, there was this theory that said that we're about to have this clash of civilizations. And the guy who wrote it, I forget his name, all the IR students would be like, it's this guy. He put forward that there was like 5 or 6 civilizations that were going on around the world. So you had the Islamic civilization, you had the Sino civilization, you had the Christian civilization, you had the African civilization, and there were kind of these macro societal groupings of like common ideas and discourses and stuff. And I think breaking down the world into those large kind of macro descriptions, those categories, it's too big. It's too big to describe the actual kind of discourses that happen within those different nations, within those civilizations. So I kind of really push back on any kind of grouping like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my... Sorry if this isn't as funny.
No. It's not. We're not always just about comedy. Even though we will throw in some jokes here and there, it's fine. The reason why I had this podcast is because when you see a comedian, you see who their persona is on stage.
Yeah.
This podcast kind of lets see the person behind that person.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a comedian. I just construct funny situations.
Well, that's what comedians do, don't they? I mean, look. For some reason, Jerry Seinfeld's a comedian, and I think he's the most unfunniest person on earth. I don't find him funny at all.
I would agree.
The show was successful, but that was successful because of Larry David, not because of Jerry Seinfeld. Larry David did most of the work.
I thought it was the guy that always comes in through the door.
Oh, that's Kramer. That's just a character, which was created by Larry David.
Yeah.
Because if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah. Now, that show is a lot funnier than Seinfeld could ever be.
Yeah.
I mean, Seinfeld was your typical type comedy, but Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David just has an amazing talent in creating the worst kinds of awkward situations. It's so unbearable you want to turn it off, you don't want to watch, but you can't help but glue yourself to the screen. I don't know, that's his talent. That's Larry.
It's kind of the anti-humor kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's just the way he does it, pulls it off. You can see the genius in that. You can see the talent in that. And you see that from a lot of people. Dave Chappelle had the way of how he does his sketches. You see how Russell Peters does his thing with the whole racial way of, he talked about all kinds of races and immigration, all that kind of stuff, They got a thing. Everyone's got a thing.
Yeah.
And even Kevin Hart has a thing, and I think Kevin Hart is the black Seinfeld. I think he sucks too. I just don't find these two people funny at all. And
I will make a confession, Majid.
That's fine.
I know very little about comedy.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I know very little about comedy history, who the big comedians are.
Oh, really? Okay.
I came into this kind of by accident, like a lot of things in my life. I'm a music guy.
Okay. A lot of people turn to their real professions by accident.
Yeah.
Now, you don't know comedians, so you might not know the next person I'm going to talk about. His name is Ken Jeong.
No idea.
He was in a show called Community.
I love Community.
You saw the show Community?
Yeah.
He's the Spanish teacher, the Asian Spanish teacher.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. He is a doctor.
Oh, wow.
All right. He's got a medical degree. He actually practiced as a doctor.
Yeah.
He turned to acting by mistake. I don't know, on a dare or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And he was naturally funny.
Yeah.
So he kind of steered into that way. There was opportunities there, which is why he got the movie Hangover. Playing that crazy Asian dude.
Yeah.
Right? And so he blew up in that area simply because, and by accident. He had no intentions to enter the comedy world.
Yeah.
And look at him. Like, one of the funniest comedic actors around.
Yeah.
You haven't seen him do stand-up because he's not a comedian.
Yeah.
Right, as of yet. But I bet if he wanted
he'd be good.
He'd be good.
He'd be good.
All right. So you're a musician.
Yeah. So
do you play one instrument or several?
I can play multiple instruments, but guitar is my main core instrument.
Okay.
So my other show, which is about it's about a Pokémon.
Okay. Theater. My son would love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Holographic Charizard. It's also at the Adelaide Fringe. But yeah, I perform songs about a Pokémon.
All right.
And that's really how I got into doing comedy, was doing that show and just bantering between the songs, and people thought it was funny. And then when it came time to do a Fringe show, people were like, "Oh, you're going to do this show?"
So you'll attract audience born in the early 90s or late 80s.
Yeah, anyone my age or younger, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I give a shout out? Is that okay?
Give a shout out. You can do whatever you want.
I'll give a shout out to my favorite half-lab.
Half-lab?
Yeah, Jake from Cardex Collectibles.
Okay.
I told him I was going to go to a podcast. He's like, "Oh, who is it?" I was like, "Magic Lab." He's like, "Oh, wow, I'm half-lab." I'm
hoping it'll turn into an "oh, wow." My son collects Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
All right, and he gives me them so I can look them up on the internet to see how much they're worth.
Yep.
And I said, "Son, we're going to start getting you one of those binder thingies, those folders where you put them into, to start, to really take care of them.
Yeah.
Because you got a couple of cards here that's worth more than $100.
Well, yeah,
You know, I think it's got one card that's worth like $400.
Oh, nice.
You know, I mean,
do you know what it is? Or
no, I have no idea. I wrote it down. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I wrote down the name, the number, and all the basically like a highlight of the card.
Yeah.
And wrote down the value next to it.
Yeah.
All right. So I know what card is worth what.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of kids don't know the value of the card, but they like they like it because of how it looks, and then they fold it and they put it in their pocket and they ruin it. You know.
Well, I don't think it's ruining. I think it's giving it patina.
Oh yeah. Well. What they did do is give it a gigantic discount. That's what they did. All right. So what was worth 400 could probably be worth 4 or maybe 24.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's bent like that, people are not going to want it. I mean, I remember reading an article about a guy in Canada who found a car that was worth 300 million. Is that true?
I mean, not 300, not Pokemon.
I swear, I'm not mistaken.
Probably
My son showed me.
300,000.
My son also showed me. My son is a Pokemon fanatic.
Yeah.
And he said, "Dad, this guy in Canada found the car that I wanted." I go, "Okay, which car? It was worth 300 million. There's a car that's worth 300 million. You know, why am I playing the lottery when I could just buy like that? I could use that amount of money just to buy Pokemon cards and try to hit the jackpot of a $1 million card.
I mean, it is gambling,
and it's cheaper than buying a lottery ticket." You know, it is cheaper than buying a lottery ticket.
How much is a lottery ticket these days?
Well, I spent $39.50 on yesterday's Powerball. I won $55. So I'm $25 up.
Yeah.
You know, $25.50 to be exact. But I mean, similar. Like, I've lost more than I've won, obviously. But with the amount of Pokemon cards that I've bought, that $400 card, that one $400 card, makes up for all the cards that I've bought. You know, because I've got one. My son's got one $400 card, and a bunch of 80s and 100s here and there. So he's got up to almost $2,500 worth.
Well, I bought a pack of cards if you want to open them.
Okay, no, I'm good. I think I can open them, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my computer and have a look at each one of them and see how much they're worth. I got a card that's worth 55 cents or 95 cents or $1.20. You know, you get a few of those.
We call them bulk.
Bulk.
They're just the bulk.
Invest in Pokemon cards. You don't have to like it. I don't like it, but if it's worth money, I'm in it.
Don't invest. Appreciate the card.
That's for the nerds.
That's what my show is for. We're all for the nerds. I'm the anti-scalper. I give out cards at every show.
I just watched an episode of 6 Feet Under last night.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
It's about a family who that work in a funeral home. They're morticians. They bury people and all that kind of stuff. And every episode starts with somebody dying or getting killed or whatever, because it always leads up to them. All right. And the one that was yesterday is it was a big dude in his like mid-20s or 30s, and he's getting a call from his geek friends and goes, "Look, we want that comic book you want. I'll buy it off you. It's worth $3,000. I want it." And he goes, I'm not selling it. It's not okay. I'll give you $4,000 for it. We know that it's worth more than $4,000. And he's trying to get the comic book so he can keep it safe because the geek friends are going to come after it. And the whole shelf falls on him. And before he dies, he said, "I'll rather bury myself in this book than to sell it." And then he died that second. He died that moment. The big comic book shelf that he had falls on him and crushes him.
That's quite ironic.
All right, and then and that was his request.
Yeah.
Which the funeral director respected, and they put the comic book in the casket on top of him. Later that night, the two geek friends tried. No, they weren't grave robbing.
Okay.
They went to the funeral home to try to steal it off him.
Yeah.
You know, and the guys caught them and they put it back, and they were really pissed off. And he threw the book at the corpse. Take it. And ran away. So it's like, are you that? Do you belong to a society that's that geeky enough that will go through that level, that will stoop that low to get a card or a comic book or whatever?
Well, I've thought a lot about how I want to be buried.
Okay.
And I definitely do want to be buried with every possession I have.
Really?
Yeah,
you
100%.
Can't take that with you. I mean, well, you can.
Everything. Yeah. I want to be buried with all my possessions.
Really?
Yeah. Just
so you'll be some kind of death hoarder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to leave nothing to anyone. It's just all going to go into the casket.
Sweet.
I don't have anything. I've got like one $200 card, but
okay. Well, they might buy you something. Okay, all right, that's pretty cool. So, if you got into this by accident, does that mean that you didn't have any inspirations in terms of your favorite comedian or anything like that?
All my favorite comedians are Australian comedians that I've worked with.
That you've worked with?
Yeah.
Okay, name me some of them.
So I work at the Halley now. during the Adelaide Fringe. So I've been the in-house tech of the Howling Owl for the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so just getting to work with like Lindsay Webb curates it. He's really good.
Lindsay Webb?
Lindsay Webb. Vanessa Larry Mitchell has been really inspirational. Amy Hetherington. Kel Belnaves I knew before getting into comedy. Ross Voss is always... I love Ross's ability to handle crowd pressure and heckling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. Lizzie Who's fantastic.
Okay,
Thomas Green I found to be
Thomas Green.
great with his crowd work. And like one of the best crowd work comedians.
Okay. Yeah, I always find that whenever you get heckled, just make fun of their mothers, they'll shut up.
I'm the opposite. I'm really big on having like a really positive relationship with hecklers. I like hecklers.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I love...
It really depends on what they say.
I love them.
You know?
I the more that the crowd talks, the less I have to. And
so, okay, where besides Adelaide, where else have you performed?
so I performed in Perth in 2012.
Wow, so you've been doing this a while.
Yeah, so Holographic Charizard started in 2012.
Okay.
2012 to 2015, and then I stopped for 10 years. And then I started working in a comedy club, and I was like, I want to do a show. And then I got sponsored and did a show.
You got sponsored?
Yeah, the Howling Owl sponsored me. So they
Howling Owl.
Howling Owl. Yeah, like a howling wolf.
But an owl. Okay.
It's the sister venue to the Rhino Room.
Check it out. I got to check it out. So, do you recall the best set you've ever had, or is that yet to come?
Yeah, I know the best set.
Oh yeah,
it was the second night of Cabaret Fringe last year.
Nice.
So the Cabaret Fringe Festival, which is separate to the Fringe Festival, and it's the Fringe of the Cabaret Festival that we have here in Adelaide. And the first night was probably my worst set so far. And I shaved my beard the next day, gave myself a mullet, went for a run, kind of really reset and had to really rethink.
What, you bombed on stage?
I didn't bomb, but I knew that it could be better.
Okay.
And then I came back and just did 100%. If I'm feeling down, that's the show I listen to. I'm just like, I'm okay. Yeah. That's funny.
Okay, I thought you did that so you didn't want to be recognized or something.
Well, no, I had let my beard grow out.
Yeah.
And I paid, do you know Sposington?
No.
He's an incredible asset to the music community here in Adelaide. He's been documenting shows for 20 years with his camera. If you're ever interested in learning about music culture in South Australia, Sposington is actually...
Spoz?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
SPOZ.
Okay, yeah. And what was the second name?
Spozzington.
Okay, so it's like a nickname. Spoz.
Yeah, his name's Spoz.
Okay.
Spoz's Rant is the but he's been running a blog, a photo blog about the South Australian music scene for like 20 years.
Sweet.
I paid him to come do photos, and I looked at the photos. And I was like, oh no, I look so silly. My beard's like long and too lush.
Okay, so you do comedy. So and as a musician, do you have a band, or are you a solo artist?
So my solo artist is the name is Holographic Charizard. I was in a band many years ago called Pink Noise Generator.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going. The name was secretly picked because it's the initials of my birth country.
Okay.
But that's Matthew Vecchio, who is an incredible sound tech here in Adelaide. It's his band.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played keyboards in that band, and then I played guitar as well.
Okay, so what kind of genre is your music?
The Holographic Charizard show is an acoustic show.
Like folk?
Yeah. I call it canto folk because that's where Pokémon took place, but it's basically like just classical instrumentals.
So it's instrumental, no vocals? You don't sing?
3/4 of the songs are completely instrumental.
Okay. What's the name of your most popular hit?
A song about Charizard.
And is that the title? A song about Charizard?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's people love it. It was huge in 2012 in Adelaide, It got a bit of viral notoriety within Adelaide.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for a set? Whether it's whether you're doing comedy or you're doing a musical gig?
Yeah. The musical gig is pretty well. How would I prepare for it? Like the song's developed over a long time, and the show, it started off as a musical improvisation work. So I would put down the timer on my phone and press play, and then I would say something about Charizard that the song was going to relate to, and then I would improvise on the guitar, and then when I hit the 5-minute mark, I'd end the song and talk about something else to do with Charizard.
Okay, just for those people who are my age and over, Charizard is the name of a Pokemon, correct?
Yes. It was the most powerful and had the most hit points in the original trading card game.
Okay, and he's worth more than Pikachu?
Yes.
Pikachu, for those who are above 45, is another Pokemon.
Pikachu and Charizard are the top two highest volume.
Okay.
Trading cards.
Do you implement any comedy into your musical gigs with these Pokemon tracks?
I do, but it's a lot of stuff that's kind of developed over time.
Okay.
Like the show it's an hour-long show where I play like 4 songs.
Okay.
Most of it. Yeah.
How long are these songs, man? It's like 20 minutes a song.
No, the song's like 3 minutes, and the rest of it is just me talking with the crowd.
Oh, okay.
And explaining the journey of it. And
wow.
Making jokes about moist misties.
So as a folk singer, are you a fan of Flight of the Conchords?
Nah, they're from New Zealand.
Is that the reason why? You know, in the show, they were being racially attacked by somebody because he mistook them for Australians, right? But he was saying, "You damn New Zealanders," but he was actually making fun of Australians.
Yeah.
And the New Zealanders were trying to convince the guy how different they are. He goes, "Listen, Australians are like, where's the car?" And we're more like, where's the car? You know?
Sounds the same to me.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Are you a fan of South Park by any chance?
I grew up with it.
Okay. They did have an episode making fun of Pokemon with a cheap Pokemon. Did you ever see that episode?
It sounds familiar.
They had those commercials. I got to buy it, cheap Pokemon. Because it was like brainwashing kids and they were watching the cartoon, and it makes them want to own all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the way South Park actually, exposed Pokemon for what they're actually doing to kids was right spot on, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, I grew up with the video games.
Okay.
So video games, you just own one video game.
Mm.
I think it's kind of good. And it's fun. And it's like kind of you going around collecting stuff in the world.
Okay.
Whereas the trading cards, it's definitely just gambling for kids.
Yeah.
Like the Japanese packs, if you buy a box in Japan, you're guaranteed a certain amount of like rarities because they've got anti-gambling laws.
Oh, okay. So we should go to Japan and buy a shitload.
Yeah.
Dang.
But they also have higher quality and there's less randomness. So the cards are actually worth less.
Oh, crap. So you can't buy them on Amazon anymore or anything like that. Try to get them from Japan. Okay.
I mean, if you want those ultra expensive cards,
maybe.
you gotta rip English.
Well, I'm gonna stop resisting my son when he asks for Pokemon cards because now I'm in
You should bring your son to the show. He'll love it.
He said to me, "Dad, can I stay home from school when you interview those 2 guys?" I said, "Son, you don't even know who they are." All right? But you told me they're celebrities. I said they're Australian celebrities, and you don't know who they are. All right. Now, if I knew that I was gonna have a Pokemon addict here, today would have been the day to bring my son from school. He would have enjoyed this one. He would enjoy this conversation. He would want to ask questions, but he would know not to just because he would disturb the podcast.
Can we do a podcast just with your son?
Yeah, well, we could, but I don't know.
We'll just talk about Pokemon with him.
You know what will be a good sketch idea for? But actually, no, it probably wouldn't be. I'd probably be wanted for, I don't know, to interview just children and let them speak what they want to speak. Kind of like the kids say the darndest things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would like to have my son here, and I want to talk to him about, the Viking history.
Yeah.
See how much he knows about that, which would be absolutely nothing. You know. All right, and maybe just get his opinion, or maybe tell children about how things used to be there, and get their reactions of what they would say. Like, there was no internet 400 years ago.
There was no internet 20 years ago.
Of course, well, yeah, almost, but more than that. But yeah, just like the world they live in today, they won't be able to comprehend how people used to live.
No,
you know what I mean.
I don't comprehend how we used to live.
We don't. There's not a day. Sometimes there's not a day that goes by that I wish I didn't wake up in 1986.
I kind of agree with you.
Just to be 7 again.
Just to be not existing yet.
Yeah, just but I want the knowledge of the future so I can bankroll that later on and become a billionaire. But yeah, that's not going to happen. But I did write a short story. I didn't complete it, but I did write a short story of a 7-year-old child in school during lunchtime.
Yeah.
And he's holding his sandwich, and he's looking up in the sky, in the heavens, and he is smiling. He's smiling a smile of relief, smiling a smile of nostalgia, and he completely looks singled out to every other kid that's there enjoying their lunch.
Yeah.
The principal walks in and he goes, "What are you so happy about?" And the child turns to the principal and says, "Sir, what would you do if tomorrow you woke up and you were a 7-year-old and you know the future and you are going to relive your life and you can do it any way you want?" And like, that's an interesting question. I mean on that because this kid, just hours before that moment, was a 48-year-old man. So something happened to him to be a child again in the era that he grew up in, and he's just taking it all in because the future, let's face it, sucks. All right? I mean, 1985, Back to the Future, we want to go back to the past right now. If there was a time machine, all right, we want to go back to the past. We don't want to go to the present or the future. But because so many bad things were going on, I came up with this kind of story. Right? I didn't know what happens after that scene.
Yeah,
I just wrote that scene because I felt like I want to go back. So I wrote like a little supernatural kind of story, something that will never happen. Like like when you wish for something and it comes true, like a Ted thing.
Yeah,
when bear comes alive, but he just wakes up. It's like a time machine thing, but not without a time machine. It's like going back in time without inventing. Like you went there by miracle. You didn't get there through science, through miracle. And I don't know what to do with the rest of that story. I just like that part, because I had it like I went through a part of my life where I was just like, everything sucks. I wish I can do it all over again. And then because what if you could? So I wrote a story about the potentiality if you could. I
mean, you can always make a sandwich and go sit outside.
Oh, that?
We can always make a sandwich and go sit outside.
Make a sandwich?
Yeah.
And go sit outside?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, of course. But the problem is you'll still be the same age and living in this time.
Yeah.
That is the...
this time isn't too bad.
Well, you're young. I don't want to ruin it for you, Tom, but it's all downhill from here, my friend. No. It's different for everybody. I wish you the great success. Now, moving on, finish the following sentence. Comedy is
funny.
Okay, it is.
I guess. I think comedy is really important. I think the arts and I think live entertainment and events are really important to the progress of our culture, and culture in the sense of like the group of ideas that we commonly live by.
What do you say to those people who have jobs like in the medical field or in law, and they feel that what they do truly contributes to society, and many of them, I'm not saying all, but many of them see art as a cop-out, saying, oh, you're only in art because you couldn't do this, or you're only in art because you couldn't do something really important. Like, what would you say to try to convince them that art plays just as an important of a role as what they do?
There's probably two answers to that for me. Mm-hmm. So the first one is, I worked in music I've worked in music now for 16 years professionally. About 7 years into that, I started to feel the same way. I was like, why am I doing this? This is like such a transient experience that I'm providing people. I'm not really building anything. I felt at the time that I wasn't contributing. And so I kind of quit. I joined. I wanted to do something consequential, kind of like an essential service, like being in the medicine or doctoring, but I didn't want to do either of those things, so I joined the army.
Okay.
That was I wanted to serve Australia, and that was the way that I felt that I could do it the best.
So you felt like you wanted to contribute something that mattered?
Yeah. And I didn't listen to music for about 2 years.
Damn.
And I didn't really go to much live events. I was still doing a bit of work alongside the army, but I was doing 200 days a year with the Army Reserves. And about halfway through that, I went to see the rugby in Perth with my family. And going to that made me realize, these like big group events and going out with people and that common kind of bonding with my family, but also with the other people within the society, that is really important. And it's, all the work I was doing, sure, I didn't necessarily see it straight away, and I was kind of like too into the arts to really understand the important work that we were doing, but it is really important in kind of giving relief. A lot of it is about giving relief because entertainment, it's relaxing. It's I don't like to think of it as escapism, and it can become escapism. And I think a lot of the digital stuff becomes escapism because you're doing it by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do it as a community, it becomes a relief. It's like, we're okay. We can celebrate. We can have fun. So I think that's part of the answer. The other part of the answer is that I think culture. So when I think of the arts, I don't think, and like comedy and music and food, I don't think of that as culture. I think of that as the artifacts of culture. The culture is the common ideas that we live by. And I like to use the example of road culture. So I do a show about learning Indonesian. Indonesian road culture is very different to Australian road culture.
Mm-hmm.
For an Australian who goes to Indonesia, it seems completely chaotic. But then if you think about stuff that happens here is completely chaotic. Like, we put so much trust when we're driving down the road at 60 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour. We put so much trust that someone isn't going to drive across in front of us.
Yeah.
Whereas in Indonesia, it's accepted that you give space to that person coming out, and so internally, as long as so you get these cultures, the common ideas that we live by, and it becomes like idiosyncratic sometimes. And like, even like if a South Australian goes to Victoria, like my mum's lived in Victoria for 10 years now, and she gets angry at all the Victorians because they tailgate everyone. But it's just the road culture there. And it's the same with culture in general. It's these common ideas we live by, and those ideas change over time. New ideas get brought in, new ideas get brought up to the surface and kind of challenged and stuff. And the culture that we talk about and what cultural workers make, that's often the artifacts of those ideas, is the way that I think of it. And the importance of those artifacts is that it allows those common ideas to become common again. Because if you don't take part in the discourse, you don't talk to each other, you don't go out and see comedy, and comedy quite often, which goes back to the question, what is comedy or comedy is, I think comedy has this incredible ability to tap into the current undercurrents of discourse. Like, this will be my 5th year working at the Fringe. And by working at the Fringe, I mean, I sit in one dark room and watch the same 20 comedians do the same show 10 times over.
Mm.
And what I've noticed each year is that there'll be themes that every comedian talks about. It's not, this comedian has a show about this comedian show has about this. They will all talk about a certain theme each time. And it's the ability of arts and creatives to kind of tap into that undercurrent and then to bring it to the surface and look at it from different angles, which then allows people to look at it themselves from different angles, and for us as a society to move forwards.
Okay.
That's like, so I've got like a degree in international relations and Indonesian studies. I had my master's in creative industries.
Well, I just got myself an essay answer.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. You know.
But yeah.
The difficult part is to transcribe this afterwards. Okay, let's get to some more fun questions. Like, if you could swap lives with any comedian or musician for a week, who would you choose?
That is a good question. Who's someone that doesn't do a lot of work? I'm not sure. I think I'd probably want to swap with someone peaceful. What was the question?
If you could swap lives with any comedian, but since you're a musician, I also add the musician.
Yeah.
Also, who would you choose?
I don't think I would.
It's a hypothetical question.
Yeah, I know. It's
Okay.
It's a good question, but it's just I don't know.
Okay. Let's moving on. We can put an I don't know. That's my first.
Yeah.
That's my first IDK for that question.
Yeah.
All right. If you could do your performance,
Yeah.
for any audience in history, which time period would you choose?
Time period.
And you can't say I don't know on this one. Well, you could, but it'll just be a very lame podcast. Two I don't knows in a row.
My theory is to always do it for yourself 6 months ago.
6 months ago. Well, that is the point in history.
So that was like when I was at uni and writing essays, I was always writing it for myself 6 months ago.
Okay. Now, which historical figure do you think would make a great comedian?
I think Sukarno.
Sukarno.
Yeah, he was the first president of Indonesia.
Okay.
I'm
going to write that down.
Yeah, Sukarno.
Yep.
Or Soekarno, depending on whether it's pre-reformed spelling or not. Sukarno. He, I think he would actually be pretty funny. He was a very smart guy. Or Lee Kuan Yew actually would be a really good choice. Okay. Lee Kuan Yew. He was the president or prime minister of Singapore for about 50 years.
Okay.
But they're both very smart guys, very willing to take on different ideas and incorporate them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they would make for really good comedians.
Okay. Now, we're going to get into what I like to call the existential part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Ask you some serious.
I think we've already covered some of them.
No. We're going to get down to some real brain teasers here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is the version of you on stage more honest than the version of you in daily life?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, more honest on stage?
Well, like I come from like a musical improvisation background. And it's kind of like I don't have any intrusive thoughts on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I just have thoughts that become actions straight away.
Yeah.
So if I'm on stage and someone says something, I answer straight away. Or if they become very suggestible. So if they say sniff it, I'll sniff it. And yeah, if something pops into my mind, I'll pretty much just say it.
Okay. So has comedy ever cost you emotional growth because being funny was easier?
Emotional growth because being funny was easier. Cost me emotional growth. I think it's caused emotional growth.
Yeah.
In many ways. Like doing the comedy has allowed me to develop.
Okay.
I think more than cost.
All right. And the final one. Are comedians philosophers in disguise or comedy with microphones or comedians with microphones?
Are comedians philosophers in disguise?
Yeah, or are they just or are they just comedians with microphones?
a comedian is a comedian. So as a philosopher in disguise, I would say that's a logical loop.
Logical loop? Okay, I
Yeah.
like that. Because you do have some comedians who are incredibly deep.
But can you be a comedian without a microphone?
It's like a bullhorn, just like somebody that's making noise. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what the question.
The philosopher
really
just a person on stage?
Yeah, basically.
A narcissist on stage with a microphone, which
much.
A lot of them call themselves narcissists.
Yeah.
I think you probably have both. Like I think there's a there's a small portion, I'll say, that are probably just pretty narcissistic.
Mm.
But I think most of them are quite philosophical. And I kind of came to comedy from the back end, from like the backstage perspective, working with comedians and talking to them throughout their season and listening to what they think about their season and what their thoughts are and what they want to change. I often become the person they talk to. And what's always impressed me is the amount of thought they put into their show.
Yeah.
The amount of thought they put into not just the comedy of the show, and not every comedy show is going to be like that, but they'll often be really like, we need a top and tail. We need, like, what is the arc of the show? What is the kind of story behind the show? What's the meaning behind the show? And I think that often isn't credited, and I think it's a result of that. That comedic mind is just a mind that is very aware and able to make big connections or like abstract connections, which allows them to find the funny in things, but it also allows them to be philosophical.
Nice. That was a very philosophical answer. So, Uncle Tom, I was waiting for an opportunity to say
I
that.
had not thought of it like that, and I'm going to steal it, Majid. I'll acknowledge you as the traditional owner of that joke.
Welcome to Uncle. Please welcome Uncle Tom on stage. Oh, that is just hilarious.
It also means sugar daddy.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't heard that version of it, but okay. Now, I wanna play a game.
Yeah,
it's called Wrong Answers Only.
Yeah,
and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to deliberately give me the wrong answer.
I'm dyslexic, so I'm good at it.
Okay. Who killed JFK?
A time traveler.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure if this is the wrong answer, but this is actually the correct answer. JFK was going to become like Hitler, and so people went back in time to kill him.
Okay.
People didn't go back in time to kill actual Hitler because that wasn't so much of a bad
Hitler
thing.
was going to be JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. What killed the dinosaurs?
God did, because they ate from the tree of life.
Okay, yeah, damn it. See, they didn't listen. Neither that bitch Eve. Okay, what was Genghis Khan's favorite food?
Genghis Khan's favorite food. People don't know this, but he's actually like a vegetarian.
Yeah.
But the Mongolian,
he created veganism.
Yeah, but Mongolians famously love meat.
Mm-hmm.
So he was trying to find a place where he could grow a garden.
Okay. What dream did Martin Luther King really have?
What's the rating of this podcast?
It could be anywhere from PG to X. Well, without getting naked.
I don't know. What was his dream?
You don't know his real dream?
I'm not American.
You don't have to be. Martin Luther King is a very important historical figure. I had a dream that one day, black and white hold hands together nationwide, all that kind of stuff, something in that vicinity. I don't know exactly word for word.
Maybe that is the wrong answer. So,
well, maybe I think he had a dream of just killing white people. I don't know.
I mean, maybe that was his dream.
Mm.
Maybe his dream was for James Donald Forbes McCann to go to America and become a black Israelite.
There you go. Okay, finish the cartoon song lyric. Teenage Mutant Ninja
Squirtles.
Okay.
That's for the Pokémon fans.
Okay. All right. Maybe I should have chosen. If I knew that, I would have chosen the Pokemon song. You know, but I don't know the lyric to that song. Okay. What was the main character's name in Pokemon?
In the cartoon or in the video game? The cartoon. His name was Sketch-1 Hot and Spicy.
Okay, cool. Which turned to ash at the end anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Finish the Arnold Schwarzenegger's most iconic line. I'll be
in Bendigo next week.
There you go. That was fun. I always like to do these. Finally, I've asked this to almost every guest that I've had because I really want to see how creative they can be with this one.
Yeah.
How does one catch an STD?
Stop taking your doxy.
There you go.
That's for the military guys.
See, that's at least an interesting answer. I like it. Okay, Tom. Uncle. I'm not going to let that go.
Uncle Tom. I'm a bit of an Uncle Tom. I'm actually, I was born in Papua New Guinea.
Okay. But, did you have a black father by any chance?
Not a biological one, but I do have a spiritual one.
Okay. So you're almost an Uncle Tom. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a series of 10 questions made famous by American writer-actor James Lipton, who had a show called Inside the Actors Studio, who was inspired by his favorite journalist, a Frenchman named Bernard Pivot.
He was, in turn, people might not know this, but inspired by Majid.
Oh, no. I'm just adopting this questionnaire because I was a fan of Inside the Actors Studio, and I really enjoyed James Lipton's style of interviewing. So
I've enjoyed your style of interviewing.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I probably wouldn't have been able to do half or quarter of that if it wasn't for people like this man right here. So, Tom, what is your favorite word?
Okay.
What is your least favorite word? Wordless. Okay, I can't specify this enough because I don't get because there are some guests who take it the wrong way, so I have to say this for some of them. But you look like you appear to be more intelligent, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is not a sexual question.
Okay, I'll make it.
No, what turns you on?
What turns me on? Australia.
Okay. What turns you off?
Australia.
Okay, I thought you were going to say New Zealand there for a second. Okay.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
All right. What is your favorite curse word?
I love Mokondo.
Okay.
Mokondo. I can explain it, or the Indonesians can just laugh.
That's an Indonesian way of saying something?
Yeah.
And what does it translate as?
Broke boy.
Broke boy?
Yeah.
So broke boy is a curse word?
Well, it would translate as a broke boyfriend.
Okay.
But it comes from modal kontol dong. So modal is like the capital you use to start a business. Mm-hmm. Dong is just like a slang word.
Oh, slang word, okay.
And kontol is your kontol.
Which Asian country had the currency named dong?
I don't know, but
I've heard of that, but okay. And moving on. What sound or noise do you love?
What sound of noise?
What sound or noise?
I love pink noise.
Pink.
Yeah. Not white. White is shh, whereas pink is.
Okay. Well, no, thanks for elaborating. I had no idea exactly what
that's for my sound tech friends.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Feedback.
Okay.
Especially like a 1K or something like that.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I want to open a kangaroo restaurant in Indonesia.
Nice.
That's actually my long-term goal.
Okay.
This entire comedy thing is just to gain notoriety in Indonesia to the point where I can open a kangaroo restaurant.
Are you going to call it Uncle Tom's Kangaroo Restaurant?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm definitely going to eat there. I'm good, just so I can say, hey guys, let's go to Uncle Tom. You know what? I'm gonna get my black friends and say, come on guys, we're gonna go to Uncle Tom. All right, cool. What profession would you not like to do?
I wouldn't want to. I'm not sure. I've had a lot of professions in my life. I've dabbled in a lot of things. I think they're all pretty good. I think.
What job would you not want to wake up every day to go to?
I'm not sure.
I'll give you an example of a job that I don't ever want to do.
Yeah.
Executioner.
Yeah, but you get like a sweet apron and probably not.
That's a butcher.
Yeah, I mean, they're the butchers of life. Probably something to do with a boat.
Okay.
I love paintings of boats.
Like we're gonna need a bigger boat, kind of boat.
I get very seasick.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you don't want to be the captain of the Titanic.
All right. I mean, at least you get to be historical.
Yeah. As the idiot who crashed into a freaking iceberg is your legacy. Okay. And finally,
these are hard questions.
I know. These guys are professionals.
Yeah.
All right. I can't take credit for these questions. I mean, look, I'm asking you these amazing questions, and before I ask these amazing questions, I asked you how do you get an STD. So that's from my journalism to their journalism.
That was the more enjoyable one.
And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Wrong way, go back.
Oh, I like that. I love creative answers when it comes to asking that question, and that's definitely in the top 5 of the answers that I've gotten so far. Actually, no, screw that. Top 3, wow. Top 3, because most of them just answer typical type answers. But I like that. Wrong way, go back.
Yeah,
like through the VIP entrance, or just down.
I don't know. It's sending you back to haunt you.
Yeah. What if God was black and said, "So you're Uncle Tom?"
God damn.
All right. So if you want your fans or your followers or even the audience in general to take anything from this episode, what do you want them to take?
Don't stop taking your doxy, even if the doc says to.
Okay. Keep that shit close, boys and girls. Okay, well, that's it. There you have it. That was my episode of The Magic Hour with guest OmTom, Uncle Tom. What was the other one?
Holographic Charizard.
Holographic Charizard Tom.
Oh, you said it correctly.
Okay, well, yeah, well, hooray. I'm a Pokemon geek. All right. I've been your host, Magic AKA Magic Leb. Again, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency, and follow and subscribe to my YouTube at Magic and Dairy. And until next time, everybody, peace out.
Peace and
love.
Selamat makan dan minum ayam dan bir.
What he said.
I'm broke.